Hey guys, so last night I was in my YouTube studio updating some videos and making some thumbnails when I noticed that there was a new feature in the thumbnails area where now you can actually run a thumbnail test. And as someone who had an online business for several years, and I've taken a lot of business courses and watched so many tutorials, I remember that this is something that we would call A/B testing, where you test two variables against each other to see which one performs better. You can test anything from what people click on, colors, buttons, titles, images, placements, and then you would run two things against each other, and then whatever performed the best, you would then take that and run it against another, and then you would take the winner, and then you would run this against the, and you just keep going. Now, for me personally, as a brand new online business owner who had no money, this wasn't something that I did on a professional level, but this is something big companies do all the time. Google, Amazon, you name it, they will test what color button more people click on to purchase. Maybe they make more money with a green buy button than a yellow buy button. Then they'll run it against add to cart versus buy now, or buy now versus buy. And you don't even know that this is happening. Sometimes you'll see updates on these platforms and you have no idea why they changed it. They could be running tests. So personally, I was a little excited when I saw this because when I create thumbnails, sometimes I can't decide which photo of me to use or which text to use or which words on a thumbnail to use. I'm going to use those words in this video. I'm going to refer to them as the headline, even though the headline or title is the actual text under your video, but I put words on my thumbnails as well. And I'm always wondering like what will work best. So first I want to talk about, in my personal opinion, what matters most between thumbnails and your actual video. And I have two examples to share. A few days ago, I discovered a new person on YouTube. This guy lives in the middle of nowhere on his own chunk of land. He built his own little tiny house. And he does all this stuff on his property, which is stuff that I'm really into and I want to do myself. So YouTube knows that, so they suggested his video to me. I watched like one or two of his videos. He has no fancy thumbnails. They're just screenshots from his video. Oftentimes he's not even looking at the camera in the thumbnail. So to me, it looks like YouTube is automatically choosing his thumbnail. And he has very basic titles. So after I watched one or two of his videos, I then see another video that popped up, or I think I might have been going through his channel to see what else he has. I mean, they all look exactly the same background because he's always outside. And then he had one where the title said, "It's over, I'm leaving, this is goodbye," something like that. So obviously, this is what gets us to click. So even though the thumbnail was completely basic, it looked like every other thumbnail, I clicked on the video and I watched the entire 16-minute video, and not once did he talk about leaving or going anywhere or anything. The entire video was about his firewood log collection, and he's got different piles, and he talked about how in the summer snakes like to hide in there, which I thought was a very good thing to know, and I put that up here in case I ever do get to live in the middle of nowhere and have my own land and house. But I watched the entire video. Why did I watch the entire video? Even though I knew at halfway point he was probably not going anywhere because he was just kind of rambling on, walking around his property, I was interested in what he was talking about and showing around. And so to me, no matter what your headline or thumbnail says, if your video is not interesting or it's not related to the person watching it in any way, it doesn't interest them in any way, they're going to click off. So you can have the best thumbnail in the world, the most amazing headline that says we're all going to die, you have 30 seconds to live. It doesn't matter if you click on it and there's absolutely no value, people are going to leave. And I'm not a YouTube expert, okay? But I know that YouTube wants you to stay on the platform. They make money by you staying on the platform and continually watching videos because they run ads and they make money that way. If you are constantly finding videos that have all these cool thumbnails, but you're constantly clicking off because the video sucks, YouTube is going to, in my opinion, stop showing these videos to people altogether because they don't want you clicking off. Because if you keep clicking off every single video, they might lose a customer. You might say, YouTube sucks, everything I click on is clickbait, and I am going to a new platform, or I'm going to a different platform, or I'm not just going to go watch Netflix. 2 days ago, YouTube showed another video in my feed. It was a plain thumbnail of a teenager in a car. I am not a teenager. I am in my 40s. So the image itself will look basic. There was nothing interesting about the thumbnail. The title said, if you are 15, 16, 17, or 18, watch this video. And I thought, what a weird title. Why don't you just put if you're a teenager or if you're 15 to 18, like a range? For some reason, he put all these numbers in a thumbnail. But what really got me to click on it, I'll be honest. First, the headline got me interested. I stopped. But when I saw that it had over 5 million views, that's what got me to click on it. Because I thought, is it because the title was weird? So anyway, I clicked on it. It was a 20-minute video, and I watched the entire thing. Not only was I engaged, I got some value, I was inspired, and I ended up sharing that video with my son because this teenager basically shares his long journey, how he struggled in high school, what happened during COVID and shutdowns, how that really affected him in good and bad ways, and how ultimately things didn't go his way, and it led him to having a successful YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers. And there was like some sad parts in there as well. And I thought it was extremely motivating and inspiring to share. And I just love listening to people's stories. I love inspirational videos. And I thought it was important to share, especially because I have an 11-year-old who's going to be a teenager any day now. And I'm doing my best to raise him in a way where he succeeds and doesn't make the same mistakes that I've made in my life. So I want him to kind of be more prepared than I was. I really was not prepared for real life. And here's this young man. And I'm not saying I want my son to have 1 million subscribers. In fact, I don't even want my son on YouTube, okay? He's been wanting to have a YouTube channel for years because all the kids are playing video games on them and it looks cool, and I just don't want him on YouTube. I want him to do other stuff. But there was a great message in the video. Why am I sharing this in this video? Is because, again, it doesn't matter how good your thumbnail is or your title. If your video is not relatable, people will click off and they will not watch, and then YouTube is not going to suggest your video to other people. So this feature is cool. If people are already watching your video and you're getting views, it's cool to do some testing. I do think it's a good idea to test your videos and to test what works. You can even test with the topics you talk about. On my channel, I talk about Christian faith, but I also like to talk about business because that has been my passion for over 15 years. I've always dreamed of having an online business or some kind of business. I think for the rest of my life, I will always be doing something with business, whether it's selling something handmade in markets or shipping online or having some kind of digital products. And I did have an online business, and right now it's been in transition for the last few years, but that's a huge passion of mine. Another passion of mine is health. And so that's something else I will probably be talking about on my channel because I've struggled with health over my years, and I've been able to finally figure out what was wrong with me without any doctors. But thanks to YouTube, I found out what was wrong with me and I was able to heal, and it's just been mind-blowing. Doctors have not been able to figure out what was wrong with me. So I feel like I should share those stories. So you can test your YouTube channel not only with thumbnails, but with topics and headlines and even long videos versus short videos. Maybe the way you speak, maybe you're more animated and goofy and funny in some videos, and others you're more serious. You can test whether you're all pretty and cute in a video or look like a rag doll in a video, and just like you can test different things. This video is specifically about thumbnails, but I wanted to make it clear that your thumbnails is not the only thing that's important. In fact, in my opinion, your video matters way more, because even if the person doesn't get their answer from the thumbnail, they'll still watch if they like you or if they feel like what you're saying is important for them to know or is interesting in some way. The next thing I'm going to share is things that I've learned about A/B testing, which is what I mentioned earlier. with this thumbnail test, I've already created, I think for 4 different videos, I created some tests last night. Now, I have a new YouTube channel, so a lot of my videos are barely getting any views right now. Maybe in the future they will. According to YouTube, they're only going to run this test for 2 weeks. I'm kind of hoping they will actually push your video to more audiences to run this test. But just because you have low views does not mean you're not getting impressions. You can have thousands of impressions, but only 3 people clicked on your video, and you're thinking nobody even sees my video. That's not true. They're not clicking and watching your video, but the impressions are there. And so they do have those analytics, and I do forget. My videos actually do get thousands of impressions. They're just not necessarily getting a lot of clicks because maybe my video is being shown to people who are not interested in my topic, and maybe YouTube is still testing to figure out where my YouTube channel fits, because I just changed my whole topic of my channel. I used to be New Age and I was promoting my art products that I was selling. Now I'm a Christian, so those are to oil and water. So it's okay. I'm okay with that. So I just wanted to bring that up, that it's still a good idea to test your thumbnails. And here's how you, in my opinion, here's the best way to test them. And of course, you could do your way and see what other people say as well. I'm assuming everyone will be talking about this feature, but I'm also wondering if this is a brand new feature to everyone, or if I just got granted this feature and everyone's had it this whole time. But to me, it's new, so I'm talking about it. When you do A/B testing, you want to change one variable at a time. For example, if you're going to test 2 things against each other, you want to change only one thing between them. You don't want to have an orange buy now button and a yellow purchase button, because when you have a winner, you're not going to know if it was the color that was the winning factor or if it was the word. You also don't want to change the shape, because then you have like, well, maybe they want a round button versus a square button. I mean, companies test every single little part of their websites and platforms to see what works, okay? So when you run your test, my recommendation is to change one thing in all 3 of your thumbnails. For example, you can use the same photo in all 3 and only change the words on your image, but keep the same color of the words, the same size of the words, the same color of the words, font of the words. So you only change the actual words. Maybe one says, stop right now. Maybe the other one says, don't do it. Maybe the other one has no title at all. But the point is, all three have the same image, and you've only changed one thing between 3. So when you have a winner, you know, oh, the one without any words performed better for some reason. Okay, then you can test that in your other videos. Create thumbnails and see how many of your videos performed better without any words on their thumbnail versus the ones with words. That could be something that maybe people just want to see your face. You can then test, okay, how about I have my face in the thumbnail versus a background or the object that I'm talking about. Maybe a forest or a book that you're reviewing or your scrapbooking supplies or whatever it is you're talking about. Test different images, and then another test obviously you can run is you can have the same exact words in all 3 and change your photo. Maybe you have different facial expressions and you want to see like what do people click on the most. I personally do still fall for these, and I still fall for those. I do, they work. So, but I don't like to do them in my channel. But maybe one day I'll test it. Maybe I'll run a test and see if they actually work. But I also know that if my video is interesting enough, people will watch it, even if I just have a regular, regular little video. So while I'm recording this video, I am already thinking about 3 different thumbnails that I can use for this video and run a test. And we'll see how many views it gets. But I'd like to even post the results somewhere, maybe on my website, and I'll have a link in my description so you can see the 3 thumbnails that I ran tests for, and maybe how many views I get or clicks, whatever it is that they're going to be showing. I don't know yet what kind of results YouTube is going to show. I know they're going to run some tests and just show you a winner. I'm hoping they'll show you which one's got how many clicks. That would be kind of interesting. So I'm thinking I can put a YouTube Studio logo somewhere. I could point like this. I could go like this. I could go like this, like everyone's doing. I could go like this. The third thing that or is this my third? The third thing that I would personally do, I'm an analytical person, is I would track all my tests and results. I would create a spreadsheet. I would put video number 1, 3 thumbnails, results. Video number 2, 3 thumbnails, results. And then I would compare across the board what performs better. Are people liking my face in the thumbnails? Are they, or is there certain words in the image that work best? And then I would compare, and then you could, I don't know if they're going to let you run multiple tests once that first test is run, we'll see. But if they do, I would run the next test. If I have a faceless, if I have a thumbnail with no words and that's the winner against thumbnails with words, I would then run 3 new tests of different facial expressions. I don't know. And we'll see which one performs best. Just, and if they're all the same, then it's like, okay, maybe people don't really care about your facial expression. Last but not least, I personally am not going to overthink this too much and put too much effort into thumbnails and tests. I have a busy life, and I would rather create valuable videos for people than to focus on thumbnails, because I'd rather people watch my videos than to just click on them and bounce. I think this is a pretty cool feature they came out with, and it would be cool if in the future they also let you run tests on the actual title of the video. Those are my thoughts on the thumbnail test feature. Let me know if you've had this feature, if it's new. Let me know if you're going to be using it. Let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you have any other tips you want to add. And we'll see how this video performs, and I'd like to post the results somewhere in the video. It'll give me at least a couple of weeks because they take a few weeks to post. So I'm going to post this immediately, and we'll see what the results are in the future. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch any more business tips or business stories, and I've tried all kinds of online things with KDP and Shopify and Etsy. I produce stuff in China. I plan on sharing all of that in future videos. So if that's something you're into, definitely subscribe and check out my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye. Happy testing.